Have you ever wondered why some people find peace and freedom as they age, while others feel trapped in their relationships? The truth is, as you get older, having a partner may not always be the blessing people assume it is. In fact, for many, it can turn into a slow and silent poison, draining their energy, limiting their choices, and even making their later years more stressful than they need to be. If you've ever felt like maintaining a relationship at this stage in life takes more than it gives, you are not alone. In this video, we're diving into 5 key reasons why having a partner in old age can actually make life harder instead of easier. Understanding these reasons doesn't mean you should avoid companionship altogether. It's about being wise enough to see the full picture and making decisions that truly serve your well-being. Stay with me until the very end, because what we're going to discuss might just change the way you see relationships in your later years forever. Number 1, the emotional burden of constant compromise. As we journey through life, especially as we age, many of us recall the early days of love, days filled with passion, energy, and the excitement of always being together. However, with time, even the most enchanting relationships can sometimes evolve into a series of compromises. Over the decades, those small choices, what to eat for breakfast, which television program to watch, or deciding on a quiet walk versus a noisy outing, begin to accumulate. For some of us, these daily decisions become an emotional burden. Let's consider the story of Robert, a gentle soul who, at 74, shared decades with his wife. Throughout his marriage, Robert found joy in adjusting to his partner's preferences. While there were countless tender moments, he slowly began to feel that his own needs were fading into the background. His beloved mornings, which once held the promise of quiet reflection, had turned into sessions of endurance as he listened to loud television and engaged in endless discussions just to keep the peace. Studies suggest that as we age, our tolerance for constant stress can diminish significantly. Research shows that even mild stress, when chronic, can lead to higher rates of depression and anxiety in older adults. For instance, data from the National Institute on Aging indicates that persistent emotional stress in later years can affect physical health, contributing to issues such as high blood pressure and impaired sleep. This isn't to discourage you from loving deeply, but rather to remind us of the importance of balancing our own emotional well-being with the dynamics of our relationship. Now, I'd like you to pause for a moment and think, what is one small compromise you remember making that affected your day-to-day happiness? How did you feel when you looked back on it? Remember, my dear friends, sometimes life lessons from the elderly teach us to cherish our own voice. A voice that deserves to be heard amidst the gentle hum of compromise. Number 2, the loss of true independence and dependence. One of the greatest gifts of our later years is the hard-won freedom to live life exactly as we choose. After decades of fulfilling duties, raising children, nurturing careers, and adapting to the expectations of a partner, the opportunity to live independently can feel like a long-awaited sunrise after a starless night. Consider Frank, a remarkable man in his late 70s, who spent nearly his entire life as a devoted husband. With his partner gone, Frank discovered a world he never knew existed, a world where decisions were his alone. He began waking up to the gentle sound of birds chirping, rather than to the demands of a shared schedule. He could now plan his day without having to check in with anyone else, exploring hobbies and adventures that were uniquely his. Statistics from the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP, reveal that maintaining independence is a significant factor in the quality of life for older adults. In fact, over 60% of seniors report feeling a renewed sense of purpose and joy when they are able to make decisions independently. This surge in well-being reinforces the idea that independence isn't just about physical solitude, It's about reclaiming your identity, your choices, and your happiness. Take a moment now to reflect. When did you last do something solely for yourself, without needing approval or coordination with someone else? What feeling did that freedom ignite within you? In sharing stories like Frank's, we glean life lessons from the elderly that remind us the essence of growing older can be about embracing our independence as fiercely as we once pursued love. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 2 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 3, the emotional exhaustion that comes with constant compromise. While we have already touched on the subject of compromise, it's important to delve a bit deeper. When we are young, we often view compromise as a natural part of love and partnership, a necessary ingredient in any relationship. However, over time, what feels like a small adjustment can turn into a heavy weight on our souls. I recall another dear friend, Linda, who at 72 had always prided herself on being a gracious, accommodating partner. She would pick the restaurant, adjust her schedule for her partner's appointments, and even change her leisure routines to match his. Over the years, these acts of kindness accumulated, leaving her with little space for her own dreams. Linda's story is not uncommon. Many older adults find that the constant need to adjust, while well-intentioned, slowly chips away at the joy that should define their days. Research supports this narrative. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults who reported high levels of ongoing relational compromise were more likely to experience emotional fatigue and decreased life satisfaction. It suggests that while compromise is a noble gesture, it sometimes comes at the expense of one's inner peace and personal happiness. Now, I invite you to take a moment and recall a time when you had to make a sacrifice that in hindsight you wish had been a choice rather than an obligation. How did that experience shape your view on personal balance within relationships? These reflections offer more life lessons from the elderly, reminders that as we age, honoring our own needs and desires becomes not just important, but essential. Number 4, the burden of caretaking that no one talks about. One of the most tender yet challenging realities in our later years is the profound role of caretaking. When a loved one falls ill or experiences a decline in health, the dynamic of a partnership can shift dramatically. The transformation from equal partners to one person caring for the other often comes with a steep emotional and physical toll. James, a kind and humble man at 77, had been married for over 50 years. His beloved wife, always the vibrant spirit in their home, gradually became unable to care for herself. Out of love, James stepped into the role of caretaker. In the beginning, small acts of care, helping her with medications, ensuring she had meals, and lending a listening ear, felt natural and even fulfilling. However, as time wore on, the responsibilities increased. James found himself overwhelmed, his own health suffering as he devoted more time and energy to her needs. This isn't just an isolated story. Many caregivers, especially among our elderly community, face similar challenges. According to the Family Caregiver Alliance, nearly 30% of older caregivers report significant physical strain, and more than 40% experience emotional distress. These figures highlight the delicate balance between love and self-care. Caretaking, though born out of compassion, can become an all-consuming obligation that leaves little room for personal joy and health. I'd love for you to think about this. Have you ever taken on a role where you cared for someone else so fully that it left you feeling depleted? What are the memories of those moments telling you about your own limits and the importance of self-care? Even as we share these challenging experiences, know that life lessons from the elderly have shown many of us that caring for others does not mean we should neglect ourselves. It is in recognizing our own needs that we can truly provide love that is both sustainable and heartwarming. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 4 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful. Number 5, the financial and emotional strain of late-life partnerships. Many people assume that having a partner in old age brings comfort and security. However, it can also bring an immense financial and emotional strain. The later years of life should be a time of peace, but for many who remain in relationships, there is the added stress of shared expenses, medical bills, and even disputes over money. Consider Robert again, this time at 80 years old. A widower who lived comfortably on his savings and pension, he spent his time doing things he loved. But when he entered a new relationship in his mid-70s, things changed. His new partner had financial struggles of her own, and suddenly he found himself paying for more than he expected, shared living expenses, medical costs, and even helping her adult children with their problems. What started as companionship quickly turned into an unspoken financial obligation, and before he knew it, he was dipping into his savings just to maintain the relationship. This scenario isn't uncommon. Many seniors who enter relationships later in life find that their financial security becomes intertwined with another person's circumstances. While some couples manage this well, others experience deep stress when one partner is financially dependent on the other. It's not just about money, it's about control, independence, and fairness. Beyond finances, the emotional cost is also significant. Arguments over spending habits, inheritances, or medical expenses can lead to resentment. Some seniors find themselves trapped in toxic relationships, unable to leave because of financial dependence or fear of being alone. The result is more stress, less happiness, and a sense of obligation that overshadows what should be a fulfilling final chapter in life. On the other hand, those who choose to remain single often report feeling more in control of their financial futures. They can spend money on their own terms, save without guilt, and make decisions that serve their best interests. There is a certain freedom in knowing that every dollar you earn, save, or spend is entirely your decision. At this juncture, please reflect and ask yourself, have you ever experienced or witnessed financial decisions in your relationships that affected your emotional well-being? What lessons can you draw from those experiences? Final thoughts. As we journey through life, our choices in these later years take on even greater meaning. Many believe that having a partner is essential for happiness, yet for some, companionship may bring more stress than joy. Growing older should be about embracing your freedom, the freedom to decide for yourself, to live unburdened by unnecessary obligations, and to focus on what brings you true well-being. Companionship is not the only path to happiness, especially when it comes with conflicts, responsibilities, and compromises on your independence. Take a quiet moment to reflect. Are you living in a way that truly nurtures your happiness? Are your relationships a genuine source of joy, or are they sustained by habit, fear, or a sense of duty? Every life is unique, but one truth remains clear. Your later years deserve to be a time of peace, not needless hardship. Whether you choose to share your life with a partner or prefer the freedom of independence, let your choices be guided by what genuinely makes your life rich. Thank you for spending these moments with us today. We would love to hear from you. Please share a thought or a lesson you've learned recently, and let us know how you plan to embrace the freedom and joy that come with each new day. Your stories inspire us and help create a caring, supportive community. If you enjoyed this conversation and found it meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share with others who might appreciate this message. Your support allows us to continue offering good content to inform and uplift our community. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to connecting with you in the next video. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Confucius.